From the creators who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing, this is World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this week's Wow Report. I'm Fenton Bailey from co-founder of World of Wonder. Sitting in for Tom Campbell this week, Blake Jacobs.
Hi.
Yay. Sitting in for James St. James, James St. James.
Oh my God, I didn't think you were going to be here. I thought we'd lost you for another month.
I literally got off the plane, got in the car, and came right here. I did shower first.
Oh, good.
Well, you're a sight for sore eyes is what you are. It's wonderful to see you.
Thank you. And sitting in Blake's seat, filling in for Blake, Edward, how do we do this?
Bachnick.
Edward Bachnick.
He's been your assistant for 8 years.
Oh, he messes it up.
Well, I just know him as Eddie, so,
EB.
You can just call me Eddie, it's fine.
Yeah. All right, so what do? We count down the top 10 things that made us go, wow. This week, number 10, Blake.
Number 10.
Well, I went to the opening at Dodger Stadium of VOLTA, which is Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, now is this your first Cirque du Soleil?
This is my first Cirque du Soleil.
Because once you've seen one Cirque show, you've seen them all.
Well, I mean, there's slight variations, and sometimes they twirl left, and sometimes they twirl right.
Well, this one was exceptional. It opened with Mr. Wow's talent show. And to vote, we all had to say, wow.
Oh, it was like you were back at work.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Is VOLTA, is that the horse one? No, that's Cavalia. What is VOLTA?
Is it the electricity one?
No, VOLTA it's like a lot with bikes, BMX.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So it's sort of like an extreme sports thing.
Yeah.
And they're jumping over things.
I mean, yeah, they do, let's see, jumping rope, roller skating.
Wait, they jump rope on a motorcycle?
No. It's not all on bicycle.
Oh.
They did jumping rope tricks. They did roller skating tricks. This guy hung from a lamp and swung. It was amazing.
That's just James on
right? That's a Friday night.
From the chandelier. No, but I'm burying the lead. Guess who created the costumes for this?
Zaldi. I'll be ding dong.
Yeah.
Well, then it must be different.
It said in the press release, Emmy award winning.
Yeah,
Zaldi.
yeah. Well, I know that he's also, I remember when Joey Arias was the MC in the Vegas show, that Zaldi had done all the costumes for that. So it's sort of been a long-running collaboration, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they did. My favorite was the trampo wall. I'm sure they've done this. Steven said they do it at every Cirque du Soleil they have, where there's like two sides and they're just jumping on trampolines on and off. Oh, sorry.
Jumping on, bouncing, tossing in midair and things of that nature. Yes.
That was really nice. And I kept thinking, like, the story was like watching an M83 video, that band M83.
I don't know
that.
You know, dun, 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 dun.
That's why that's lovely. It gives me no clue.
Midnight City.
What?
Midnight City is the name of it.
Maybe we'll play it we'll play it.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
But anyway, come to find out that guy wrote this entire thing. So I was like, oh.
Oh, wait. So the M83 wrote the show.
VOLTA.
Wrote the whole VOLTA show.
Right, yeah. I was like, oh, well, no wonder.
No wonder what?
It was World of Wonder. No wonder it seemed like an M83 video.
Oh, it seemed familiar to you, yes. Okay. So now are you going to become like this huge groupie of
I think I'm good with one. Yeah. I mean, it was a good show. I just feel like the demographic may be a little older.
Well, the clowns, because they always have strange clowns.
Yeah, they had like one guy that really reminded me of Frankie Grande. And you know how I feel about Frankie Grande. So.
We love him. He's a good friend of Wow.
J'adore.
But they're usually
That's
some
what I
pretty
meant.
hot guys in
yeah.
tights with
I
bulges.
I did wish we were sitting a little closer because the bodies were hot.
Yes.
But yeah, the sets were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
It's just Dodger Stadium. That's a big venue.
Well, it wasn't actually in the stadium like I was led to believe.
It was in the parking lot.
It was in the parking lot.
In a tent.
In a tent.
Yeah.
But parking was easy.
How many shows have you seen?
I've seen, it seems like I've seen, I went to the Beatles one, and I'm not a big fan of the Beatles.
So you didn't like that?
No. I went to, I think, the horse one, and I went to...
But I don't think that's Cirque du Soleil, is it?
Yeah.
It is?
It's Cavalier, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like a separate...
No, they have, they do 20 different shows, touring at any different moment.
The fascinating thing, I think it's in Montreal, they have a University of Cirque, where everybody goes to train. It's like a campus.
Well, because in Florida there was a clown college that I was going to go to for my.
You didn't?
Is it still there?
I think the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey College.
We need to talk afterwards because I'm worried about clowns as an endangered species.
Oh, I thought you were thinking that maybe Nolan was thinking of clown school.
No, I don't think so.
He's a shoe-in. No, but there's like an aerial school somewhere around here, a couple in Hollywood. I've always thought it would be
when
cool.
I was little, I went to this is a repressed memory, that I went to a clown, like a summer camp, and I went, I was doing the trapeze
You
bars.
really did?
I really did a trapeze bar.
How would you forget that? That's amazing if you're a kid.
Yeah. And they dressed up as clowns, and I remember.
What was your clown look?
I don't remember. This was, literally, I must have been like 6 or 7 years old. But I remember the trapeze because you were on a bungee cord in case you fell. But you would leap from person to person, and it was a whole thing. It was in Marco Island in Florida. I can't remember. I'll have to go to a psychiatrist.
Missed calling.
And dig up this repressed
World of
memory.
Wonder, and you could have been a clown.
Well, it's
The two are not mutually exclusive.
It's at Dodger Stadium until March 8th, and then it goes to the OC County Fair.
All right, number 9.
Number 9.
James, what have you been watching on Netflix?
Oh, you guys. The killer inside Aaron Hernandez. Do you know about this?
I do, and I have it set. There's right now, I guess when Netflix drops a documentary, they all do. ID Channel.
I did see that there were a number of Aaron
So
Hernandez
I have
things
them
also.
all set to watch, but I've been in Palm Springs,
The thing about Aaron Hernandez, do you know him?
Yes.
Yes.
Fabulous sportsman.
Handsome gentleman.
Yes, studly.
Very. And you remember when he first started, I guess it was in 2010.
Football player.
Yeah, for the Patriots. And he seemed like he was the hotter. They had Tom Brady, but now all of a sudden they had Aaron Hernandez, and he was just stunning.
So he really was a good football player?
Yeah, he was fantastic. He was a tight end, and he would help them win many Super Bowls, and he was, really on the path to being a legend. And then all of a sudden, one day it was on the news. It was announced that he was involved. That some minor league football player, a guy named Odell, what was it? Do you remember?
Odom or something?
Yeah, Odin Lloyd, I think was his name. And he had been murdered, and all signs looked to him as being the murderer. Aaron, yeah. And then almost 20 years to the date of O.J. Simpson, there's a white SUV slow-speed chase going down the highway.
I don't remember the
Me either.
Yeah.
In L.A.?
You're in L.A. Big international news. Well...
the fact-checking department.
That wasn't in L.A. It was.
This is not.
It was in New England where
Okay,
the
New
Patriots
England.
play.
Same thing.
Anyway, don't let that get in the way of a good story. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. What we had, so then he goes to prison, right? And it seems he might have had something to do with 2 other murders as well. So he's in prison. And he has a girlfriend and a baby, but it comes out he commits suicide. Well, very late. So he commits suicide, and after he commits suicide, it comes out that there was a prison lover who stepped forward and said that he had been lovers with him in prison. And everyone's saying, no, Aaron is a longtime homophobe. This couldn't be possible.
Wow.
Well, then his best friend from high school came forward and said that they had been lovers all through high school, and he was the quarterback and he was the tight end, and they were but they had to keep it secret. All these men start coming forward and saying they were lovers. But he is a homophobe, and you you hear all these transcripts, and this is very strange, where he's talking to his mother, and he's like, these fucking faggots in prison, and they prance around, and they lisp, and they think...
this is when he's in prison?
Yeah, he's talking to his mother, and he's saying, you know, they want to be women, and his mother's like, gross, and he's like, yeah, it's just gross, it's disgusting. So he had like some weird self-loathing issues where he could never really come out as gay or bisexual.
Well, if your parents are saying that, I mean, I would be terrified.
Well, his father was a big homophobe as well. But then another weird thing that you learn during this is after he dies, they give his brain to the University of Boston for study. And they do the CTE scan, and apparently they had never seen such extensive
Concussions, right?
Like hundreds of concussions that led to extensive
brain damage.
And it was his frontal lobe that was completely gone, and that's what is your anger management, your judgment, your critical thinking.
Because he had rage issues, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So it's a fascinating. It's only 3 episodes, so you can zip through it. It's like an hour each. But
yeah, I looked at none were longer than like 66 minutes or something. So I'm totally gonna binge this one.
Yeah, and it's a fascinating story, and
Yeah, you've run out. Yeah. Well, it's funny because at number 8, I was going to tell you all about DragCon UK.
Yeah.
And I will.
Yeah.
But I'm going to push it to later in the show.
Okay.
Because I got to tell you about
Number 8.
Don't Fuck with Cats.
I watched this one.
We haven't talked about this yet,
No,
right?
What is it? Tell me about it.
Oh my God. It's a series on Netflix.
Uh-huh.
It's
3
3 parts,
episodes, yes.
right? And it's called The Hunt for an Internet Killer. So instead of the killer inside, it's The Hunt for an Internet Killer. And, okay, I'm going to put a pin in that and then say, James, do you remember a few years ago, Luke Magnotta, Canadian model, kind of cute. In fact, I think he auditioned for a modeling reality show, like a sort of Canadian version of
like
Top
model.
Model.
Top Model. Yeah. Do you remember he murdered his boyfriend and cannibalized him?
Yes.
And
He was.
but it was on videotape.
Yes.
Put it on YouTube. Him. I don't know if I should say, but just abusing the torso while also eating parts of the body, and then sent them around to different. I think the Prime Minister received one, and a school received some.
Sent the video,
Yes, and there was
not
a
body
big-
part.
No, sent body
Sent
parts.
body
Oh, okay.
Yes. So this is that story. And in a way, there's no way, I'm sorry, but there's no way to talk about this without it being a spoiler alert. So,
Yeah, sure.
tough titties. But it's still worth watching because I was fascinated by that story because you and me, we both are interested in cannibal things. And I know no one else is.
Very
No one thinks
often,
it's-
this is just a cannibal podcast.
it is, right? It is. And I always thought that would make a great documentary, but never really pursued it. And I just assumed in a lazy way or just the usual way that, oh, well, you've got to get him and how are you going to do that? But this brilliantly tells a whole different story. And even though it gets to the murder, essentially Luke first came to internet infamy when he took 2 little kittens and put them in one of those vacuum sealed bags and posted the video online. I mean, it's horrendous. I've never seen the video, and they do it very tastefully in the series, so you don't get to see it, but you know exactly what he did. And that's why this series is called Don't Fuck with Cats, because Rule 0 is apparently this
On the
urban
internet.
expression. Yes, Rule 0 is like the one thing you don't do. So like Rule 0 is you should never be on fire. So it's like the rule beneath everything else. If you're thinking about doing something, whether you're trying to decide whether it's good or bad, should I jump over this body of water? The Rule 0 in that case would be don't drown, or should I?
Yeah.
Google it. Rule 0.
Rule
Anyway,
0. Okay.
So, because he did this thing with cats, kittens, the internet swarmed on him, and they were like, "Who is this person? We got to find him." And so it's the story of these enthusiasts, these internet nerds, really trying to figure out who he was,
Body
where
moving.
he was.
Yeah, one of them was named Body Moving, and I just loved her.
The Vegas
Didn't
girl?
you? Yeah.
Yeah, she's
I mean,
great.
it's really good. You know, it's actually made by my favorite. I'm, a jealous, ungenerous person normally, but so I don't like other production companies. But it's made by Raw TV, who've made some of the best documentaries ever. They made The Imposter. They made Three Identical Strangers. They made,
okay.
and they make a few other things. But everything they make is absolutely fantastic. And this Don't Fuck With Cats is really, I'm not giving it all away by any means, because there's an extraordinary twist and reveal that they discover that never was discovered in. He was caught. He was apprehended in an internet cafe, I think, somewhere in Germany, looking himself up online, of course. But what is revealed is he was all along baiting the public. He was doing these hideous videos to kind of get attention, but he was always outwitting the people who were trying to hunt him down and figure out who he was. And once they identified him, the internet nerds were really like, they went to the police. They said, "You got to stop him. He's going to kill someone next." And kind of that's what happened. But there is an extraordinary twist to this gruesome murder that he committed that you just will
you
not.
have to see it
You
still.
just will not
No,
believe.
no, you gotta tell me. We cut it out.
I don't know.
Well, we may tell you later, but not right now.
Yeah, I really, because I think it's
Come
too
on,
much. It's too much of a.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
already
Well,
spoiled
we,
enough.
we don't have to let anyone know.
Oh, okay. I'll tell. Well, when we. Yes, okay. Well, I tell you what. Why don't we take a break?
Yeah, because I'm on the edge of my seat.
And then I'll tell you in the break.
Okay, cool.
Oh no. Okay. Hey guys, RuPaul's Drag Race Live. What?
I have a trivia question,
Well,
too.
we'll get to that.
Okay.
I'm doing the plug.
Okay.
RuPaul's Drag Race Live opens in 1 week at the Flamingo in Las Vegas.
Very
You
exciting.
get your tickets, RuPaul'sDragRaceLive.com, because this is what? This is
Sickening.
January.
January 24th.
It's January.
Oh, and then it'll be February.
Yes.
Yeah. That's where Tom is right now.
Yes.
Getting this all set up.
Putting on sewing on rhinestones.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. All right. Okay, I got a question.
Yeah, I do. What actress who just won at the SAG Awards admitted she would have liked to have played Wonder Woman, but she waited too long?
Huh. Listen to Radio Andy. That's the WOW Report. We'll be right back after the break with the answer.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
And welcome back to the WOW Report. I'm Fenton here with Blake, sitting in for Tom,
Hi.
James St. James, and Edward, sitting in for Blake.
And I asked,
Yes.
what actress who just won at the SAG Awards admitted she would have liked to have played Wonder Woman, but she waited too long?
Well, I do remember that Sandy Bullock had said that she wanted to be Wonder Woman for decades, and then she waited too long. But I don't think she won at the SAG Awards, so I don't know.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Laura Dern.
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh.
She
What?
wait
She
too
would have
long.
been a terrible Wonder Woman.
Great.
What
Are
in
you
the
insane?
hell?
She'd be fabulous.
She's not pretty enough, and her hair is all wrong.
The
She
hair, they could
invented
fix
the
that.
hair in the 90s. The Rachel. That's her.
No, that's not what Diana Prince looks like.
Is Wonder Woman dark haired though?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. She's Sandy Bullock.
Well, not. They must have both waited too long.
Is
Catherine Zeta-Jones could have done it.
Oh, that would be.
Oh, yeah.
That would be very yes. All right. Counting down top 10 things that make us go
Wow.
Wow. We've reached number 7. Blake.
Number 7.
I wanted to talk a little bit about Lizzo and her astronomic year.
And did you see her on the cover of Rolling Stone
Yes,
this week?
yes.
Holy moly.
She looks amazing.
And picture by David LaChapelle, longtime friend of WOW.
I know. I didn't even recognize that. And you know that her stylist is from Arkansas and is in the House of Avalon.
Yeah, one of our good Judys.
Well, she started the year barely. We all started the year barely knowing anything about Lizzo. You know.
Excuse me.
Well-
We knew all about Lizzo.
Well, you did.
How did you know?
we had been around pitching her as a follow doc series. Every network said no.
Really? And now they're
Those
all
bitches.
And
Yeah.
that was literally like back in December, January of
Yeah.
last year, right?
I got her tender greens for lunch one day here
Right.
at Wonder.
Yeah.
They were a really fun crew too.
They were.
Yeah.
Really great group of. I mean, casting from heaven. They all know each other. They're all good friends. They're all having a good time.
Right.
Really funny, really on it. Just a gift.
Well,
Makes you wonder sometimes. But
I actually got to go to her album release party.
oh, yeah?
It was on January 29th, which was like almost a year to the date of the airing of this.
All right.
And yet,
And no one knew who she was.
But that was the new music, and the old music is the stuff from 2 years ago, is what is now popular, good as hell.
Well, yeah, it's
And-
on the deluxe version of her new album.
Oh, because I remember "Good as Hell" was the theme song for like Christmas party or something in 2016. It's like an old song.
Yeah, it's from 2016 or 17, I believe.
Yeah, it was the end credits of like a Jennifer Aniston movie or something.
Yeah, and I think it's been in tons of like movie trailers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole Jillian Michaels thing.
what is that? Explain. Who is Gillian Michaels and what is the whole thing?
Oh yeah, here we go.
Jillian Michaels was on The Biggest Loser.
She was the mean faster, harder, work more.
Does she
Yeah,
have a workout routine?
Yeah.
she does. Yes,
Stephen Korff does that.
does he?
Yes, he does.
Well, he looks pretty good.
Really
so.
works, apparently.
Well, she came out and said that Lizzo, although she believes she was extremely talented, was out of shape and
What?
that she was going to get diabetes. Am I right, James?
Okay. But here's the thing, though. She is an expert in health and nutrition and everything. And yes, Lizzo is all about body positivity, and we love her for that. But there is something to be said for being overweight, and it's unhealthy. And she was just simply pointing that out. So you really can't get that mad for a health expert to be saying that this woman should probably
But
be
I
in
guess
better
it's
shape.
just kind of like nobody asked her.
No, she shouldn't have said it on a national interview. But
She was kind of using Lizzo's name to make more fame for herself,
Jillian Michaels doesn't need more fame for herself.
Yeah, she's.
No, but she's pretty famous. But I don't have a problem with somebody saying that you should probably be in. You should probably eat healthier and be in better shape if you want. If you
I
don't
just
want
feel
to
like
have
everyone
diabetes.
knows that, and some people just find it harder to.
But to celebrate Lizzo, and this is me getting in trouble
But
here.
we're not celebrating Lizzo. We're
no,
celebrating that
no,
she
you-
can be happy and fat at the same time.
Yeah, but she would be better. It would be better for her in the long run.
Of course.
Not to embrace yourself and love yourself and everything like that. But if you don't want diabetes in your 50s,
Well,
then,
that's true. Yeah.
then you should probably eat some vegetables.
And I suppose also, in fairness to, we're a culture that's so punitive about different body sizes. It seems like size 0 is the only valid, legitimate size, right? So we
Right.
don't accept. Some
No.
people who was it I was reading about, has had a big weight struggle in their life, and they managed to lose the weight, and they were super thin, but they were so unhappy.
Yeah. No.
And then they found their natural weight. Like, not everybody's natural weight isn't
Well,
necessarily.
maybe it's like Mr. Mickey's journey. If you've been following
I
that
have
on Twitter,
Mr.
And-
Mickey of Paper.
Yeah, and he's somebody who his whole life has struggled with his weight, and now he's sort of embracing eating healthy. But he says, "I'm never going to be a twig, and that's fine. But I'm being healthier, and I'm embracing a different lifestyle."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to shame Lizzo, and I'm not saying that she isn't gorgeous and fabulous and beautiful as
Right.
she is. I'm not going to be upset with Jillian Michaels, who is a nutrition expert, for saying,
If she had been asked, I think. Which was she?
well, maybe I don't know.
I
how
don't
the-
know.
how
I
the
don't
interview
either.
went. No.
Okay. Well,
Well, we love Lizzo, right?
We
We
love
do.
Lizzo. And
I think
I
it's-
want to be very clear
Yes.
about that. I love Lizzo,
And
and I love her as she is.
and we'll be talking a little bit more about her because she was nominated for the most Grammys this year. A little bit
Of
later.
course, right? When
Yeah.
are the Grammys?
They're coming up. We'll
They-
talk about them in a little bit.
Right, number 6, James.
Number 6.
I wanted to give a shout out to a beloved celebrity of ours who just recently got married.
I just read about this.
Yes, Pamela Anderson. What was the name of our show we did with her? Girl on the Loose or
Yeah,
something. Was
yes.
it?
Bombshell or.
Bombshell, Girl on the Loose.
I
What?
don't think it was Bombshell.
I can't remember.
I think that was just on the poster.
But she married
Pamela, girl on the loose.
Right.
Pamela, Girl on those. She married a longtime love of hers, John Peters, who was he's a famous Hollywood producer. He started off in the 70s like David Geffen as a hairdresser, and then went on to do A Star Is Born, Batman, Flashdance, Caddyshack, Rain Man, Gorillas in the Mist, Witches of Eastwick, The Color Purple, An American Werewolf in London. He has quite a string, of hits.
John Peters was with Barbara Streisand for
He
a
was
while.
with
He
Barbara
was.
Streisand for years and
Right.
years, almost 10 years, I
Because
think.
I remember this fabulous quote of Barbara Streisand that she said the thing about John was that he always knew what to do on Sundays. That is so profound.
What does that
I
even
love that.
mean?
Sundays are an existential hole in the week. It's just the most awful day. Like
love my
everything's
Sundays.
closed. It's depressing.
Well,
and it's
I
like,
think he means for people that like getting out.
What does he what does he do on a Sunday? What did he know?
apparently he knows what to do.
Everything.
I would go with someone if they knew what to do on Sundays.
Well, I'll
That'd be
take
my
you to the Rose Bowl flea market this
Okay.
week.
Okay.
If you're in town.
Melrose
not.
Trading Post.
you.
Okay. Anyway, both of them, this is their 5th marriage each. I had forgotten, after Tommy Lee, that she was married to Kid Rock for years and years and
Uh-huh.
years. She married Rick
Rick
Solomon
Solomon
twice,
twice.
who was, the Paris Hilton sex tape guy, and also Shannon Doherty's lover
Right.
for many years, or husband, right?
I think they were married.
Yeah.
And who was she married to when she did the sex tape?
Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he now has 5 different sexual assault cases since like 96 to 2008. He's been accused 5 times by 5 different women of assault. So we don't really know that
Who,
much.
John?
John Peters, yeah. He says that he met Pamela when she was 19 years old, a Playboy model at the Playboy Mansion.
Well, I saw a photo of them together like a really long time
Yeah,
ago.
that was then. She was 19 years old, just fresh-faced and just
Yeah.
absolutely adorable. And they had been lovers then, and then 35 years later, he said that he hadn't been able to stop thinking about her. And so they got back and they're married. So God bless them.
Well.
He's 78 or something.
75, I think.
75? Okay.
Not there's anything wrong with that.
Nope.
I mean, do you think this is the one? This is for keeps?
Well, we sort of want Pamela to be happy. She's
Sort of.
No, but she's somebody who has, had a rocky time of it, I think.
Right.
And so she's up and she's down, she's up and she's down. So
She's a hopeless romantic.
But I want her to end up just being happy and finding the right one. So
I'm glad
congratulations.
she's not with Julian Assange anymore.
Well, that was just it, because didn't we
She was
think-
with him too.
Yes, because we thought that they were going to get married, remember? Because she would sneak in and out of the embassy in the dark of the night. And
Well, and she also just broke up with some French football follower.
right,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Do you remember when we did the Pamela Anderson series? She did an estate sale, sold off all her
Yes.
stuff, and in a warehouse where all her stuff was stored, there were like 13 mattresses stacked.
Yes.
And she was like, "Oh, those stories! If those mattresses could talk, like she must have like
Right.
had Nookie on each of them."
I
with
think Theron
several-
actually bought one of those.
Oh.
It was fabulous. I'm thankful from what he heard when he said, top of the line.
All right, number what are we?
5.
5.
Number 5.
I am now going to talk about DragCon UK. So that's why I was away. I was over in London this past week, and this last weekend was the first ever DragCon UK. We had it at Olympia in Kensington. Oh my God, it was incredible.
I saw the pictures, boy.
I
Woo.
mean, could you believe it was just Olympia is funny enough, it's a slightly smaller hall than we do in LA and New York, but it was so jam-packed with people. And that first, I always have this sort of anxiety, like when you throw a party, you're just convinced no one's going to
Right,
come.
right.
And I had that sort of anxiety. And then I got off the tube on Saturday morning, and there were like lines around the block. At one point, it got a little... the venue had a little bit of a panic attack and
I
closed
saw
the
it, yeah.
doors,
Uh-huh.
which was not a popular move, with the few hundred people waiting outside who started shouting refund.
It was 3,000 people.
It was
outside.
not, James.
Yeah, that's what I saw. That's what it saw.
James,
I saw
I
the
was there. I
lines.
saw them. It was not 3,000 people. It was 500 people. They were offered refunds if they didn't want to wait. We offered for them to use their tickets on a Sunday if they didn't want to stick around and get in. Everybody got in on the Saturday. Anyway, it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. And just the vibeology and the Queen's Walk was amazing. Because you see, at Olympia, it's like two floors.
Staircase.
Yes. And it's a lovely old Victorian building with this gallery. The second floor is a gallery all the way around. So you can stand there and look down on the stage. And the queens came out on the stage, went down the pink carpet, and then ascended a staircase at the very end. It was absolutely stunning, dramatic. Bag of Chips came out and squatted and left a little turd on the pink carpet. Morgan McMichaels came out, took a little girl's hand that she saw in the crowd and walked her down the pink carpet. It's just like moving moment on. And I suppose the frenzy, the orgasmic pinnacle of the whole thing was when the Frock Destroyers sang "Wanna Break Up." They didn't even have to sing it. The entire audience knew all the words.
I heard they sang it twice, and that
Yes.
everyone was perfectly happy. They
Could have done
loved it.
Yes, could have done it again.
I did see that Bianca, who is on the West End right now,
Yeah.
that people went bananas when she came in.
Right.
That she was probably one of the most popular of the American girls, and that Blue was by and far one of the most popular of the British girls.
Yes, Blue definitely, and oh, good Lord, Michelle Visage, bless her, had
Oh,
lines
yes, I
for
did hear that,
days.
yes.
You know, she sold all her books, and also
She's a huge star in the UK.
She is.
And
She-
Rue, the madness around Rue was insane. What was so brilliant was that Rue DJ'd, and from that gallery, he could DJ to everybody. He did two-hour sets. He also did a fabulous Rue Talks with Bananarama.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and he also did an AJ and the Queen panel.
Oh,
And then
cool.
the time he wasn't doing those things, he was behind his booth selling merch. I mean, it was such a fun, it was such a feel-good, amazing, lovely experience, really. Yeah.
Did you
I
get to
love
meet the
that.
Banana? Have you met Banana?
No,
met
I
Siobhan,
didn't,
or-
because found myself just holed up a large time in the office, and so I sort of missed vast chunks of it. But it was a really a lovely thing to see.
We ran into Siobhan before.
We have. She's a friend of mine. That's why I see a lot of her.
Jodie Harsh was also there and had
Oh,
a booth.
yeah.
Love Jodie
Yeah.
Harsh.
And of course, all the queens from Series 1, the UK Series 1 queens, obviously including the Vivian.
Right.
It was just really pretty spectacular. So,
I love it. How far is that out of London?
oh, it's central London pretty much.
Oh,
It's,
Kensington
it's
is
zone
this-
1 on the tube. So
Oh,
you know,
cool.
yeah.
Kensington is a very posh neighborhood, isn't it?
It is. I will have to say that the Olympia exhibition hall is not in the posh bit of Kensington. It's sort of like in the armpit between posh Kensington and Hammersmith, and it's sort of like, it's not an area you'd want to. It's not bad, but it's just
Right.
not very scenic, but it's perfect. It was absolutely perfect.
And RuPaul just got announced who's going to be on SNL.
That's right, she is.
We will be talking about that, I'm very sure, with Justin Bieber.
Yep, February 8th. I
JB
believe.
and the Queen.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
All right, so let's take
JB
a,
and the Queen.
who and the Queen?
JB, Justin
and the
Bieber.
Queen.
Oh, he's so clever. I love that.
You're
All
welcome.
right, should we take another break?
Let's do it.
Oh, wait. And who's got the question? Is there a
I do.
question? Oh.
So we're going to be talking about the Grammy Awards coming up.
Oh, okay.
3 presidents have won Grammy Awards. Can you name them?
That's a really good question. Listening to Wow Report on Radio Andy, we'll be right back with the answer.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. I'm co-founder of World of Wonder, Phantom Bailey, joined by Blake, sitting in for Tom Campbell.
Hi.
James James.
Here I am.
And Edward Bocknick.
You
know,
got
I always
it.
get thrown about your name. I get the CH is hard, like a K, Bock, but then it's IAK. And so I want to go Bockniak.
I always want to put an N in there too, Botniak. Yeah.
Well, there is an N
There is
there.
an N.
Oh,
It's
well.
B-O-C-H-N.
But it's a silent N?
It's, the A is
It's a solid
silent,
A.
Silent A.
And a hard
Bocknick?
CH.
It's a hard
Bocknick.
CH and a silent A.
It's like, I
Kinda
mean,
like me.
WTF.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
It's a confounding name.
So I asked before the break, there have been 3 presidents that have won Grammy Awards. Can you name them?
Well, obviously Obama won.
Okay.
Obviously Bill Clinton probably won, and probably Jimmy Carter.
No idea.
That's the 3.
There you go.
Very good.
Good job.
Now, isn't there some scandal with the Grammys? Hasn't the president resigned? There's some.
Maybe. I haven't really studied about that.
Okay. Well,
just-
anyway.
I've just been studying up for the Grammy Awards.
All right. Which is number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4. There are 84 awards this year.
Oh dear God, that sounds like a slog. Doesn't
Well,
it?
but they're not all televised. They're always like, earlier tonight.
I don't have days to
Right.
watch.
It's the 62nd annual, and we'll have a link to the full list on the WOW Report of the nominees. WOW Celebrity Lizzo is up for 8 awards.
Good, yeah.
And then after,
Is she the most?
Yeah, she's the most. And after her, it's Billie Eilish and Lil Nas X, who are tied for 6 each.
Well, let me just say this about that. Billie deserves everything she's going to get.
She's gonna sweep.
She's going to sweep. Lil Nas X is sort of a one-trick pony, isn't he?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he does have a song called Panini, which is...
Well, that sounds like a one-trick pony.
I'm just saying he doesn't have, that's not his
I
only
like
song.
panini.
What is the panini? What is the trick in panini? What have I like?
Yeah, why are you saying what do you got about paninis? What can
I'm
you,
just saying it's not his own...
what can you offer us that we don't know about paninis?
I don't know. I don't even really know the song. I just know that it's charted, and it's not Old Town Road.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. So, record of the year, we've got Hey Ma by Bon Iver. Has anyone?
Oh, he's still around? I thought he
guess.
was a
We
a
got-
2000s thing, wasn't he? Like the hipsters in the early 2000s.
Right, like the OC.
Yeah. Like Grizzly Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got Bad Guy, Billie Eilish, Seven Rings, Ariana Grande,
Which is she's being sued right now because she apparently stole it from someone.
Right.
Hard Place by H.E.R.
I don't know her.
It's pretty good. Talk by Khalid.
Okay, yeah, he's
Old Town Road.
okay.
Truth Hurts
It certainly does.
by Lizzo. And Sunflower, Post Malone and Soliel.
I thought Sunflower was like a year and a half ago.
I did too.
That was from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That
So
was
who do
2
you guys
years
got
ago.
for record of the year?
is like the production of it, right? It's
I
always
believe
confusing
so.
of like the
The record
category.
and the song. I never really understood.
Record of the year is the production song, I guess, is the vocal. So I
Okay.
think Bad Guy will win the record because the
Yeah,
production of
I
it's the
think
best.
it comes down between Billie and Lizzo for most things.
Right. Album of the year, we've got I by Bon Iver, Norman fucking Rockwell, Lana Del Rey. When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, Billie Eilish. Thank You Next, Ariana Grande.
Okay.
I Used to Know Her by H.E.R. 7, Lil Nas X. Cause I Love You Deluxe by Lizzo, and Father of the Bride, Vampire Weekend.
I like Post Malone. I want him to win.
Well,
what's he
he's
up
not
for?
nominated for Album of the Year.
But he's not. What is he nominated for?
He was nominated for Record of the Year.
Okay.
I have a question though about Billie Eilish. Is it all like ASMR type stuff? Is all her songs, like?
I mean,
Are they all like
no,
that?
she's she's a depressed teenager, is what she is.
So
and
they're-
everything is she sort of whines and everything's like.
They're very Tanita Tikaram. Remember Tanita Tikaram?
I know.
Twisting my sobriety.
no.
Okay.
I loved that album.
The album's great. And fun
Yeah.
fact, her and her brother did it in her childhood bedroom
Right.
in Hancock Park.
Well, that's
What in Hancock
Yeah,
Park?
she's from
yeah.
Hancock
She's
Park.
she's a rich teenager who pretends like she's poor and miserable.
I thought she was British.
No, she's from LA.
I thought maybe she was Welsh. In fact.
I think it should be "Cause I Love You" Deluxe, Lizzo.
All right.
yeah,
Any
sure.
other-
Yeah.
all right.
Song of the year. Well, let's do best new artist. Let's do best.
Okay.
New
Yes.
Well, obviously it goes
Lizzo.
between Lizzo and Billie.
Right. Black Pumas,
We
Billie Eilish, Lil Nas X, Lizzo, Maggie Rogers, Rosalia, Tank and the Bangas, and Yola.
Oh,
so,
well,
yeah.
it's Tank of the Bangas all the way, darling. I love me some Tank of the Bangas.
Well,
Who the hell is the Tank of the Bangas?
Good name.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Highland Park, not Hancock. You're Hancock Park.
Oh, Highland Park. That's,
Hancock Park 2, thank you very
Highland
much.
Park. That's close.
Highland Park's out in the valley, isn't it?
I think it's east. Like, right? Eagle Rock.
Well,
Oh,
and did
very
you-
trendy.
Yeah.
Very trendy.
Did you? Oh, yeah. Did you even know that best music video there was a nomination for that?
I thought they'd
at the
stopped making
Grammys?
them years ago. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they had a huge resurgence in 2009.
I just wanted to mention it
That's
because
10 years ago.
Yes, darling. Where have you been?
I just wanted to mention because "Glad He's Gone" by Tove Lo is nominated, and that is it's a great video, and I'm just like,
Well, you know,
I think
FK
it's awesome.
Twigs, Cellophane, and FK
That's
Twigs.
an awesome video, too.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
amazing.
FK Twigs came to DragCon UK.
Shut
She
up.
is the girlfriend of Matt, who is the lead singer of the 1975.
Right.
Yes, Matt
And
Healy.
you're-
He came
Denise
and
is his mother.
Yes, Matt
Was
Healy.
Denise there?
Denise Welsh. Yes.
Did you get to
she
meet Maddie?
introduced. No, God damn it! I
He's
saw Denise.
so cute.
I saw Denise and her husband.
I love Denise. She really
Her
is
husband's
fantastic.
a drag queen.
Denise Welch, yes.
Yes. And she's lovely. She's
Yes,
so lovely.
wonderful.
But the next day
She's been
she
on the
came-
show, right?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Next day she came back with Matt and Twig X. And they introduced bag of chips.
That's right, because you know
Amazing.
FKA
That's
Twigs
incredible.
used to be with Robert Pattinson, and then she was also with she with Shia?
She was with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, I remember that.
We talked about her last week, actually, on
Yeah.
Honey Boy. Right.
All right. Are we done with the Grammys then?
Yeah.
That's on January 26th on CBS. James, number 3.
Number 3.
Well, there were two headlines today that leapt out at me that were just really disturbed me, and I think we need to talk about them. The first is male sex robots with unstoppable bionic penises are coming this year.
Did you see that on Matt Judge?
No.
Because Matt Judge, every day, there is some sex bot piece. I think he's obsessed. It's like robots are coming, the sex bots are coming. When the fuck are they coming?
I know. I posted this story on my Facebook days ago. And
But I love this.
finally.
Unstoppable bionic penises. It says, it's a company named Real Doll, and they make females right now, but they're coming out with a line of men's. It says that the bionic penises will never, ever tire the maker's promise. That's just that. But I did also...
It's just a mechanical. You know, they have those. I don't know if you've seen the videos. I don't know if I should say, but there are like machines
Oh, yeah,
that
we-
just
Oh,
have
yeah.
a dildo on
Oh,
the end, and they
sure.
just will. Yes.
Yeah, but this has an...
And that is an unstoppable bionic penis.
But this has a pretty face attached to it.
But does it move around in different ways?
The face or the
No,
penis?
both.
Seem a bit short on details, James. So this
Hey, but
big
that was
scientific
the big one.
breakthrough.
The big news today was that the Planters Corporation and the estate of Mr. Peanut had tweeted out that it is with heavy hearts that we confirm that Mr. Peanut has died at age 104. The ultimate selfless act, he sacrificed himself to save Wesley Snipes. And you think, like, what in the hell is going on?
Could you explain?
Yeah, it's an ad. It's a commercial.
Super Bowl ad.
A Super Bowl commercial. Mr. Peanut is driving the Peanut Mobile with Wesley Snipes and the guy from Veep. I can't remember what his name is. They swerve to hit, not so they don't hit an armadillo. They go flying off out of the thing, and they end up on a branch, and the branch starts to break, and Mr. Peanut selflessly leaps from the branch so that they might live. Mr. Peanut has been around since 1916. He is one of the two monocled mascots left. Who's the other one?
Monopoly.
Yes, Mr. Monopoly is still around, but it's very sad news. Now, Twitter was it was a mixed bag of nuts on Twitter because someone was saying, what happened? Was he assaulted? And then other people were saying, roast in hell! And this is something that I'm going to go nut over later. And there were all sorts of...
Emails. Emails. But has the Super Bowl happened?
No, it's
next week.
I
Yeah,
think it's
I
the
think-
first weekend of February.
Yeah.
So this is about getting awareness up for the birds. Oh.
But it's sort of upsetting because, first of all, we're making light of this character dying, and he's been a part of American consciousness at least for over a century, and it's just sad to.
He's never done any movies. He's never had any shows, right?
He's not real.
But as logos go,
Has he ever nominated for a Grammy, Blake?
he hasn't really diversified. Where's his scented candle? This candle smells like my nut or something.
well, I mean, if he's anything like Cher or like Barbara Streisand, it's just a...
It's a gimmick, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll discover at the end of the Super Bowl that he's still alive, or he'll rise from the.
Like
Totally.
Humpty Dumpty, they'll find a way to put him back together again.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay. I thought you would have a few more details about the sex robots, but there we are.
We'll send you a link when we find out.
Well, I actually was looking up a number of male sex robots.
Yes.
From different companies, and some of they do. There are a number of different like facial types and body types. There's lots of like the Japanese sort of anime-looking ones, the manga-looking ones. There's a couple that look like little Justin Bieber twinks that are very disturbing, and then there's some like hunky like muscle queens that are worth checking out too. So just Google image male sex robots and just enjoy yourself.
All right, moving on. Number 2.
Number 2.
I was in New York, and I went to see Slave Play.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard about Slave Play?
I do know that that's the one that somebody got in trouble with, it walked out or something.
Well, I mean, okay. So it's a play by, let me see, Jeremy O. Harris, and it actually just closed last week. But it begins with a black slave, and the white plantation owner comes in, and they're having this sort of very pawny dialogue back and forth, and you kind of like think, what is going on? And then that scene changes to another couple, interracial couple, also acting out a slave play fantasy, and you just start feeling really uncomfortable. And it's all about like wanting the white man to take the woman by force and demean her. And then third couple comes out, and it's 2 gay guys, and it's like suddenly someone yells something like, "That's enough." And what we realize is that this is we're witnessing black slave therapy, which is a kind of therapy for interracial couples who've got sexual problems in their relationships, and then they sort of go on to process this. But I have to say, it's such a weird play because I suppose it's a play around, it's obviously a play about slavery, but it's also a sense of play. Let's play with the idea of slavery. And if you're white, it's really, you just don't know quite how to take it.
Well, I can imagine if you're black, you'd probably be rather upset with it too. I mean, I can't imagine anyone.
Yeah, and it's actually almost an impossible thing to talk about in a sort of short segment. It's like sort of one of those things you really have to do a deep dive and spend hours unpacking. Exactly. And because the irony is, of course, you're sitting there at the beginning, and the entire set is a wall of mirrors. So the audience is basically looking at itself as these tableaus play out. And basically, it's Broadway. I mean, the audience is basically white. And
is there uncomfortable tittering and laughing?
It is incredibly uncomfortable making.
Yeah.
Like I was literally squirming in my seat. I didn't know how to react. And also a lot of it is really funny, but you don't feel comfortable laughing.
Well, what have the reviews been? And is it something that will be Tony nominated? And is it deeper than you're letting on? And
I think it is profoundly. I do think that the ability to stage something. I don't know. The ability to stage something is completely unsettling and disturbing because it gets more intense. Like it doesn't get less intense. It gets much more intense. And the final scene, the final act, I suppose the play is basically in 3 acts, it's essentially a rape. And yet it's a rape in which the victim is the one who's in control. It's so bizarre, and then you realize as a white person you have no real ability to speak or no. And I think maybe that's the idea that Jeremy Harris, who's obviously black, wanted to create a play in which white people basically just had to listen, and that really we kind of don't. In a sort of white-dominated society, we're always sort of explaining things, and I think it's even that. The idea that even if you think you're inclusive and that you're colorblind, you're basically not. And that you realize you're almost, just by virtue of being white, you are privileged. You are essentially holding a whip at all times. it was really quite something else. And
No, did you see Be More Chill or anything else? Like I had suggested?
no, I was so disturbed and like,
Right.
you know, one of the reviews, I think it was in, I think it was Vox, says the three friends went, the review, and the reviewer just said, the only way I can review this is to have this conversation with the three of us who went. And one of them says, sitting down to see slave play is basically signing on to allow this weird show to top you. And that it's really about listening to, giving a black experience a platform and listening to it rather than always seeking to contain it or define it or explain it, I suppose. I don't know. It's very, yeah. Maybe, hopefully, I'm sure there'll be other productions of it in due course. All right, so we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll reveal the number one thing this week that made us go, wow.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Hey, welcome back to the Wow Report. We've reached that point. What was the number one thing this week that made us go wow?
Number one.
Well, it's a wow that's just like, wow, why? It's the impeachment trial that is going nowhere fast. It's got a historic inevitability that is just playing out in real time. It's really annoying because we know how this is going to end. We know they aren't going to let them have any witnesses. We know there's not going to be any evidence. We know that the Republicans are all in the bag for Trump, and they've already said they aren't going to be impartial. So what the fuck are we doing watching this? Why is it taking up 14 hours of my television? I'm not able to watch Days of Our Lives. I'm not able to watch General Hospital because these fucking people are ruining our country.
And how about the fact that most of it is taking place after midnight? It's like some sort of like midnight
society.
It's not really a trial.
No, it's one of those like existential plays by Sartre or something like that. That it goes on and on and on, and there's never going to be any resolution except
I saw a thing on CNN last night that this guy was talking. I don't even remember who it was, but he was like, they want this to be a blip, just like. Do you know what we were doing a year ago from like today? We were there. The government was in a shutdown. Do you even remember that?
Well,
there's always.
I think the more they kind of compress it and try to shorten it, the more history will judge them for it.
But
if there is a history,
I was going to say, but that's not what matters. What matters is that if, like the Mueller case, like the Mueller report, he's going to skate again. And the more he skates, the more powerful he becomes, and the more he thinks he can get away with doing bigger and bigger crimes. And they are already saying that the reason why the Republicans are all in on for him is because they're convinced that he's going to win the second term. And God help him if he wins the second term, there will be no more America left.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I just read an article by Benjamin L. Corey, who has a blog, benjaminlcorey.com, where he actually looked at the idea that Trump is the Antichrist. And he found all these biblical quotes. This is Daniel chapter 11, verse 21. A despicable person will arise, a man of contempt. He will slip in when least expected and will seize the kingdom through flattery and intrigue. Revelation chapter 13, verse 3. The whole world was filled with wonder and followed the beast.
Now, listen, the other one of the things from Revelation is that they always are talking about when the trumpets will blare, the trumpets.
Yes.
Trump, he hears the word Trump. That's Nostradamus, I believe. And the other thing
trumpets
is,
always going in Revelation.
Yeah. And but they will have the sign of the beast on their head.
Exactly.
And that's the MAGA head. That's the MAGA
Make
hat.
America Great Again hat.
Because
there was a meme about that,
They wouldn't have understood back in the biblical times about what a baseball hat was. They would just see something with the letters on it.
That's what he saw, Revelation 13, and they received a mark on their foreheads.
Yeah, MAGA. Maggots.
He will exalt himself above all, so that he set himself up in God's own temple, proclaiming himself to be God.
Now, close. We're close to that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. He will honor a God no one will have heard of before, the God of fortresses. What is the wall? The God of fortresses. And he will worship this God with a lot of money.
Yeah.
Daniel chapter 11, verse 37. Oh, So that's why this insane thing is happening. That's why the evangelicals, the Republicans, don't see him for what he is, because he's the Antichrist.
Well, that's what they
would
keep
believe
saying
that.
is that they keep saying he's a sign from God, and everyone else is saying, yes, it is a sign from God, and you failed. He was testing you, evangelicals, and you bought the golden calf. You were
Right.
worshiping at the golden
Well,
calf.
I'm just waiting for the rapture.
Well,
Maybe it's happened and we're still
I
here.
don't know why you think you're going to be raptured.
Because in the rapture, what happens is God summons all the good people to him. So we just suddenly disappear. But I guess we're still
Here.
but the bad people stay around, have to stick around for the 6 years
That's right.
of the war, Jesus' war with the Antichrist.
Well, thanks for tuning in to the Wow Report on Radio and Sirius XM. You can listen to previous episodes on our YouTube channel, Wow Presents. Hopefully, if the rapture doesn't happen, same time, same place next week. Until then, go out and do something that makes the world go
Wow!